Hi guys, happy Thursday. We are one day away from being on vacation. I know that for you, you're probably like, oh, please, I really want this to be over. But don't worry guys, like I mentioned to you before, I try to make these reviews as simple and as, fun as possible as I can. Like I said before, we are going to be doing reviews when we go back to school. So, it's not only here. When we go back to school, I know that there were some topics that you might have questions, and I do have a list of topics that I think were the most difficult. Because I know that there are some topics like this is and these are, which we've seen for, a while now. That, I know that you already have a perfect handle on them. We might be doing a review of a day or half a day with them, but then we are going to be reviewing some other topics like, for example, materials. What are they used for and what are their properties? Why? Because that topic, I feel like it can be very extensive and it can talk about not only the materials that we saw, but many others. So we are going to be talking about them, guys. So please do not worry if you're thinking that, oh my gosh, I'm going to second grade and I don't know this topic for sure. Like I said, don't worry, because you are going to be going to school for the first couple of weeks. You are going to be with me only for a little bit, and then you are going to be going to your second grade teacher, who is going to later and it's going to know maybe the topics that maybe we didn't have so much strength in them, and you're going to strengthen them with him or her. Okay? So I don't want you to be worried. I don't want you to be, just worried about anything. Guys, relax. Enjoy the time that you have. Try to, behave with your parents. Like I mentioned to you, this is not something that you should be worried about. You all are doing great. You have been so cooperative with me. You all have seen the tutorials. Some of them even write me on the forum, which I'm very thankful for, guys. You don't know how I appreciate your feedback, because it helps me know that what I'm doing is actually helping you. When you tell me that you like the videos or that you found them interesting, or when I make a question right here through the tutorial and you answered it to me, guys, I feel really happy and really lucky that, I get to have you as well. I get to, at least have you for our next couple of weeks, and then you're going to be second graders. So guys, I know that this is a long road. We started in March, but don't worry, just hang in there like we have been, and you'll be really happy and really good. Okay? Alrighty guys, so now we're going to go to the activities that we're going to be doing today. Just like yesterday and just like tomorrow, we are going to be working on the book pages. Today we're going to be doing book pages 221, 222, and 223. We're only going to be doing 3 pages, guys, and we're going to be talking about a topic that we already know, and it's called should. Remember that should is used for suggestions. So we're going to also be watching a video to remind us how we use should, okay? And a little bit of exercises within the video, but don't worry, guys, okay? This is just part of the review, and I know that should maybe can be a little tricky, so we might even be watching or reviewing it when we go back to school. Once we finish with should and the video that we're going to be watching, then we're going to go to our hygiene part of our tutorial. Just like every day that I remind you that you should be, taking care of yourself, that you should be wearing a mask, I right now might be wondering, Miss, why are you not wearing a mask? Well, I am at home. In my house, as I showed you before, I am constantly spraying oust, or I don't know, you might be able to hear it sometimes in the video. You hear a little psst. That means that there is a device that I have in my house that is constantly spraying something to neutralize not only odors, but it's also helping to keep the air clean and fresh, that kills bacteria that could be in the air. And it's not only here where I am recording. I have those things all over my house, in the bathroom, in the kitchen, in the living room, so guys, and in the other bedroom as well. So guys, that's why I don't have to wear a mask here in my house, because this device does it every so often. Okay, so I don't have to be doing it. But in school, like I mentioned to you before, we don't have them, or I don't have enough to take to school. So guys, what I do have and what I will have, that I have in my own home and I've showed you, is my Oust or my Lysol. And I'm going to be spraying them, you know, again, every so often, because we're not going to be in school all together. Remember that when we go back to school, we are going to be wearing our mask. We are going to be sitting a little bit apart from each other. We're not going to be sitting right next to each other. We're not going to share food, just like I've told you before. So, you know, all these things, guys, are just trying to prepare us for what's going to come in the next couple of months. Because unfortunately, like I mentioned to you before, this is not going away, I guess you could say, anytime soon. It's not going to be leaving in August and we're going to be like free of the coronavirus. No, unfortunately, I think we're going to be for the rest of 2020. So guys, this is what I believe. I am not sure. I am not a doctor. Maybe I am wrong. That is possible. So guys, we're just trying to make it work as well as we can, and I will try to do my best to keep you safe, to have our environment where we're going to be spending time together, you know, as free of germs as I can. So of course, you know, I'm going to be cleaning, or we're going to be cleaning tables constantly. We're going to be washing our hands. We're going to be having gel, you know, to keep the germs off our hands. And I'm going to be spraying, you know, either Lysol or Oust, which do not only eliminate odors, but, you know, they help neutralize any type of bacteria that is in the air. Alrighty, guys? So don't worry about that. Alright, like I mentioned, and I've taken a long time to mention, the activity for today are book activity pages from last semester, not this semester, book from last semester. We're going to be doing pages 221, 222, and 223. When we finish, we're going to be watching a short video, like a recap of the activities that we watched today. And then we go to our hygiene part, just like I mentioned. And once we finish that, guys, we're going to be done for the day. So today's activities are going to be very short, not long at all. So let's go ahead and go with our book pages, alrighty? So let's go to page 221. You know that you're going to have it somewhere around this area, so don't worry. You're going to have it right here. You're going to be able to see it. I'm not going to give you the answers. I'm going to be giving you time for activities that might need or require you to take a little bit of more time. So guys, let's just go. All right, on page 221, exercise 3, we have match the columns. Who are these characters and what do they do? So remember that we read a story in the Awesome Reader yesterday. It was called Helping Others. So we need to know who the characters are and what do they do. So we have Mrs. Lee, Mr. Poole, and Mr. Gomez. Do you remember who they are in the story? Yeah, I know you do. So we have the baker. The baker is the person that makes bread. Pan. Panadero. Baker. Okay? So who is the baker? Do you remember? Yep, that is true. Mr. Gomez is the baker and he also bakes cookies. So he is the one that bakes. Alright, guys? The grocer. Grocer or grocery shopping is when you go to Walmart. I guess you could say the grocer are the people that are around putting the tomatoes, the potatoes, the zucchinis, all the type of food, the cereals, the milk. Those are the groceries, okay? The grocer person, the ones that are in supermarkets. So that would be, did you hear that? That was my machine. So the grocer would be Mrs. Lee. Mrs. Lee is the grocer, okay? And the last person we have is the mayor. And because he is the last person, do you remember who he is? Yeah, the mayor is Mr. Poole. Mr. Poole is the one that is in the town hall. All right, exercise 4 in the same page says, get into teams. We are not going to be getting into team, guys, because Of course, we are, staying safe. We're staying away from people. We are maintaining our distance, guys. So, and it's not something we're going to be doing right now. But think about your families and discuss the following questions. I'm going to be discussing these following questions with my cameraman, okay? Because I cannot discuss them by myself, and you can discuss them with any family member that you have available to you. Okay, so if you have your mom, your grandma, if they have time, if they're not too busy, you can tell them or you can help them, and then maybe you can ask them if they could help you discuss some of these things. Alrighty? Alright, so we're going to discuss what we do. Just like the grocer, the baker, we have job. I'm going to respond these questions, and then my cameraman is going to respond the same questions, okay, with his information, because he is not the same thing as me. We have different jobs. Okay, so the first question is, what do they do? All right, so in my case, what do? I am a teacher. I am right now an elementary teacher. I was a nursery teacher, and I was also I guess you could say a high school and university teacher. So I guess I am a universal teacher. What do they do in their job? Well, my job is to help students learn, topics that come in the program. Here we use the UNOY system. So I use that, but in some other places we use books, or, the school has their own program and they make a list of all the topics that you should know when you get out of, I don't know, for example, first grade, you should know the verb to be, this and that, and they make it and we teach them, and I try to make it as easy as possible for my students. Also, I try to have students, or my students, that I've had before, they're a little bit older, that have had me for a while. In the beginning, maybe they're not able to speak English a lot, but they get to hear me, or they get to try and do conversations, and I really like it when I get to see that they are improving, that they are getting better and better little by little, and that they can speak later on. All right, where do they work? You know what I work. I work in Ibero. Who do they help? Well, I help any of my students that want me to help. If they need my help, I try to do my best so they understand. And if they don't need my help, well, I guess I cannot help them. Who works with them? Well, you know who works with me. Miss Shuna, she works with me. She is the coordinator. I work with Miss Isette. She is my partner, and we try to make, I guess you could say, the topics as simple as possible for you guys. Do they wear a uniform? Yes, I have to. What would happen if their job did not exist? Okay, this one, I don't know, guys. What do you think? This is up to you. What do you think would happen if the teachers didn't exist? What would happen if there were no teachers? What do you think would happen? How do they know that their work was done well? How do I know that my work was done well? Well, I have to be really, really honest to you guys. For me, the way I know that my work was done well is when I get to see my students making a progress, even if it's really little. Some people would say, I didn't learn that much. But, when I pay attention, I pay attention to details. And when I have a student that maybe at the beginning was not very good or didn't like English, and when they're able to spell or they're able to say words that they didn't know before, it makes me very, very happy, because I know that I helped them do that, or I helped them achieve a goal. Maybe for their moms, or maybe even for other teachers, it's like, they learned very little. Yes, but they learned. So that is the good thing. So that is for me. All right, now my handy dandy cameraman is going to answer the same questions. I'm going to ask him, and he's going to respond. All right? Okay, so remember, he's going to talk loudly so they can hear him, okay? All right, the first one. What do you do?
I am a chemical engineer.
Okay, so he's a chemical engineer. What do they need to do their job? What do you need to do your job?
To improve all the process in a company. In the laboratory, I need safety glasses.
Safety glasses.
I need gloves.
Gloves to protect your
Gloves.
hands.
I need, what do you say?
Helmet.
No.
A coat. A lab coat.
Yeah. lab
Okay,
coat.
he needs a coat that protects him from any chemicals, guys.
Yeah, that's right. And if I'm going outside in the process area,
Huh?
I need a helmet.
Okay, a helmet, something to protect his head.
I need special shoes
Oh, special shoes. What are these special shoes used for?
for they protect me if there's a electric discharge.
Okay, so they protect him from electricity, guys. They are protective shoes, okay?
Yeah, and also if there's a chemical in the floor.
Okay. Next question. Where do they work?
They can work in, I don't know, maybe.
Where did you work? Or where do you work?
Okay, I work inside of Tenari Stanza.
Okay, so he worked in Tenari Stamsa, guys. If you didn't get to hear him well.
Okay.
Who do they help? Who do chemical engineers help? Or, yeah.
We usually do the analysis of the production area.
Okay.
When they finish a product, they send us to know if the product has a good quality for the client.
Okay.
And also in my area, I work with water treatment and all the water that is used in the process to do the product, the final product. I have to analyze.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you help, you can say big companies, correct? You help big companies with
Yeah.
your water treatment
Mhm.
and also in quality of materials.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's right.
Who works with them? Who works with you alongside of you?
Well, another chemicals engineers, maybe another staff, maintenance people, operators.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you wear a uniform? Do chemical engineers wear a uniform?
Yeah, the one that the company provides.
Okay. What would happen if your job didn't exist?
I don't know, maybe the process will be, I don't know, maybe a little incomplete because we, like I said, we analyze all the process.
Okay. You also said that you treat water correctly.
Yeah.
So if your job doesn't exist, this is my guess, guys. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
He's going to answer yes or no.
Mhm.
So you treat water. So
Yeah.
if, for example, if I wanted to drink water, you didn't analyze, do the analyst part,
Mhm.
could I drink the water?
No,
I couldn't drink the water.
no. The water needs a lot of treatments. It has a lot of process, so you can drink that water.
Okay.
And also the water that is used in industries. It has-
Like hotels?
yeah, hotels or I don't know any kind of industry. When they use that water, once that it used, it needs to be of recycled or just how to say it, discharged to soil.
Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, if his job didn't exist, I see, we wouldn't have a lot of drinking water, or we would waste a lot of water. Because he just said that we recycle water, for example, in hotels. They don't use clean water all the time. They recycle the one that they can, correct?
Yeah, that's
So
right.
if his job didn't exist, maybe we would have less water. Okay? And last questions. How do they know that their work was done well? Well, I can answer this question, and he's just going to tell me his point of view in a minute. But I think that he knows that his job is done well because, well, we have clean water in hotels when we go out on vacation. we also go to restaurants, and I'm guessing they also treat that water to clean the dishes.
Yeah.
And I know that companies like Tenaris Tamsa, I know that some of your parents work there, need water because they use a lot of chemicals, harmful chemicals. So maybe we would have a lot more pollution if, chemical engineers did not exist. So do you have any last words?
No, I guess that's it.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, guys, in exercise, then you says, in the space below, you have a little square, and it says, what about the jobs you like the most and why? Okay, so I like, for example, I like being a animal caretaker, or I guess you could say like a veterinary assistant. That is one that I like the same. And why? So I'm going to choose veterinary assistant. Why? Because I like animals. I like taking care of them. And I think it's a very satisfying and very beautiful thing to care of animals. I like wild animals like tigers and pandas, and I would really, really love if I would get the chance to maybe take care of baby tigers or baby pandas. So that is my reasoning, guys. You're going to have, because you have to write the job that you think that you like the most. Any job, it doesn't matter. It's your choice. I'm going to give you 10 minutes, guys, to write about a job that you think you like and why. Okay, so I'm going to show you also a video on amazing jobs, on just some jobs, just to maybe get your idea going. And you can choose one that you see, or maybe if you have a job that your mom or your dad do and you really like it, you can write about that. After the video, you're going to have 10 minutes, okay? So you're gonna have 10 minutes to write about why you picked that job and why you like it, okay? So let's watch the video.
Luxury car test driver. Porsche, Lamborghini, Rolls-Royce. Someone needs to test these, no? Whether it's for the dealers or for specialized automobile magazines, you can get hired to evaluate luxury cars. The work is simple. All you need to do is put on your best suit and drive around in a super classy car. And you don't need years of studying. The only prerequisite is your driver's license. However, when you're going at these high speeds, you gotta watch where you're going. It's as though it were Halloween all year round. Zombies are trending nowadays, and some tourist attractions are seizing the opportunity. Be it in a haunted house or a Victorian mansion, some owners of these terrifying properties are hiring actors to play zombies to scare the daylights out of tourists. It must not be easy on your psyche having people run away from you screaming all day long. However, it's a fairly easy job. You don't need to be an A-list actor to walk around moaning with your arms in front of you. Number 7. YouTuber. If you're a WatchMojo fan, you're probably already used to spending hours and hours on YouTube. Well, imagine if you could get paid for it.
That's awesome.
For many people around the world, being a YouTuber is a full-time job. You can choose any topic you want to talk about. Video games, music, comedy, interior design.
We should put this on YouTube.
The best thing about being a YouTuber is that you can follow your passion, whatever it may be. The possibilities are infinite. You can also work from home and decide your own schedule. Not bad, eh? A diving instructor. This job is not for everyone, but for those thrill seekers out there, there's nothing better. This job pretty much consists of jumping out of a plane several times a day and activating your parachute on time. What's interesting here is that, contrary to most people who have to pay to jump, it's the opposite for you. You get paid to jump. It's amongst the most exciting jobs out there. However, it's just a little bit dangerous. Number 4. Travel blogger. Most people require a vacation to travel. For travel bloggers, their office is the whole world. As they're hired by travel agencies or magazines, they get to travel all expenses paid. Basically, they document and recount all their adventures and describe the places they visit. The more exotic the places are, the better. For those who love to travel, this is as good as it gets. But when it's time for these people to take a vacation, where do they go exactly? To an office? Number 3. Water slide tester. Here's another job that doesn't require many qualifications, except for maybe liking water and definitely not being afraid of heights. A typical day at the office goes like this. You put on your swimsuit, you cut in front of the line, and you test all the water slides in the park. And finally, you grade each water slide in different categories such as speed, landing, the amount of water, and the safety of it. Granted, the job contains a bit of paperwork, but for the rest, there aren't many negatives. Number 2, candy tester. As you've probably noticed, we have testers for almost anything. There are several dream jobs: wine tester, food critic, restaurant critic, but the coolest job linked to food has gotta be this one. Harry Wilshire is only 12 years old, and he already has a dream job. After winning a contest ran by Swizzles Matlow, he was hired as a candy tester. This job may not be recommended by dentists, but it's certainly really, really sweet. Sorry for the pun.
I take you to the candy shop. I let you the lollipop.
Before revealing our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Number 1, Private Island Security Guard. The coolest job out there. That's how the owners of Hamilton Island, situated on the Great Barrier Reef, described the job of Private Island Security Guard in their internet ad. Over 35,000 people applied, and we can see why. Imagine having an island all to yourself. You may have to brush off some tourists once in a while, but most of the time, the security guard is alone and can enjoy nature as he or she sees fit. And the cherry on top? The annual salary is $111,000, and the rent is included. The downside? Well, this job has already been taken.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.
Alrighty guys, now that you've watched the video, you have those 10 minutes to do it, alright? So see you in 10. All right, guys. Now on page 222, it says, listen to the track. Cross out the pictures that are not good citizen rules. Remember we talked about being a good citizen? Do you remember that? We talked about it in the last one. And it says, be a good citizen, and we have a listening. You're going to have that listening exercise in the resumen de actividades. I'm not going to play it because, to be really honest, I don't think that we need it. But if you need it, you can always do that. Guys, to be a good citizen, remember, is to always have the other person, I guess you could say, in the back of your mind. It doesn't mean that the person has to be first or that you have to forget about yourself. No, it just means that you have to be respectful. If I know, for example, that my mom, my dad are sleeping, I'm not going to go and start hammering on the walls or start drilling on the wall, because that's going to be making too much noise. I have to be considerate, okay? For example, maybe I'm not tired. Maybe it is 4 a.m. and I am not tired. But that does not mean I can put the music so loud so the whole block can hear it. No, that is inconsiderate, guys. So we don't do that. You know, that's being a good citizen. Taking care, being responsible of others, you know, and of your areas. Also the planet. So here we have 4 pictures, as you can see. 4 pictures right here. And the first one are kids on bikes. Okay, but is there something wrong with this? Yeah. The first picture is not being a good citizen. Why? Because you're not wearing your helmet, you're not wearing your elbow pads, and you're not wearing your knee pads. You're not being responsible about your health. So the first one is a big X because they're not, you know, following the rules. Then it's a mom with 2 kids. They're crossing the street. Are they breaking any rules? No. They are perfect. They are crossing the roads. The kids probably saw both sides before they crossed, and they are holding their mama's hand. So that is a good sign. So there's no problem here. Then there is a kid who is throwing trash in a recyclable. Is that breaking any rules? No, he is being a good citizen. Why? Because he is following the rules, and he's taking care of his environment. All right, the next one. They are 2 kids, a boy and a girl, who are just running, but they seem to be running in the street. They didn't look both ways. They just took off running. Is that something good? No. Every time you go on the street, you need to stop, look at both ways, and cross very carefully. You need to do this with adult supervision, not by yourselves, because accidents can occur. Okay? All right, exercise 2. It says, listen to the track again, write should or shouldn't. Remember that should and shouldn't, it is used to tell you or to give you a suggestion or advice on something that maybe is not a good idea. When you say should, it means that it's a good idea. Shouldn't is when it is not a good idea or it's not very advisable. For example, me. You should not eat potato chips or Sabritas before you eat your dinner. This is advice. If you eat Sabritas before your dinner, this means that all the germs that you have in your tummy, all the parasites that you have in your tummy are going to get bigger. And the food is you're not going to be hungry, and it's going to go to waste. So it is not a good idea to eat Sabritas before you eat your food. Okay. So here we're going to write should or shouldn't. 1. Ride a bike without a helmet. Do you think it's a good idea without a helmet to ride a bike? No. So the first one is shouldn't. 2. Look both ways before crossing the street. Is it a good idea to look both ways before crossing a street, or is it a bad idea? You should. It's a good idea. You should look both ways before you cross. 3. Throw trash in the trash can. Is it a good idea? You should or you shouldn't? You should throw trash in the trash can. Don't pollute. Don't be nasty. Put your trash in the trash can. 4. Throw trash on the street. Shouldn't. No, that is polluting, contaminar, and you should not do that. 5. Cross the street at a red light. Should you cross the street when the red light is on? No, it is not a very good idea. It shouldn't. All right, in the little square you have, if a breakfast cereal were named after you, what would it be called? What would it include? So if a cereal could be named after me, it would be called Money. That's what it would be called, Money. And it would have marshmallows, because I really like marshmallows. I think it would have like almonds and honey. I think that's what I would like. That's what it would include. Some yummy, yummy. And in the box, it would have many games so you can solve. So that's what I think I would have. I would have a cereal with honey type of crunchy, I guess you could say, cereal. That would make it yummy. It would be with marshmallows, maybe some chocolate marshmallows and regular marshmallows, you know, just to give it a very different look. It would be having almonds. And in the box, maybe it would include like a short booklet. That's what I would like. A short booklet, a booklet for kids, you know. So they would be having fun while they eat their cereal. Alrighty guys, last page. Page 223. It says, answer the following questions using should or shouldn't, okay? So here it is, guys. It says, should cross the street now. So if we look at the picture, we have a stop sign for crossing the street. So it should be, you shouldn't cross. You shouldn't cross the street now. That would be the answer. For the second one, should she wear a helmet? It should be, she should wear a helmet. You are affirming that you should. Should they follow the good citizens rules? They should follow the good citizens rules. Exercise 4. What other good citizen rules can you think of? Discuss them in teams of 3. So you can discuss them with your family. What other things that, you know, good citizens do? Write down some ideas. Alrighty guys, and here we have a language key. I'm going to read it real fast, but we already watched the video. We use should to give suggestions or recommendation to tell whether it's a good idea or bad. Example, you should be patient with your younger children. Marianne should do her homework before going to the party. It's a suggestion. It's a good idea to do your homework before you go to a party. When you give a negative advice or it's not a good idea or a suggestion, you use should not or the contraction form shouldn't. We have some examples. You shouldn't be rude to your sister. Theo should not, it's not a good idea, drive this car that fast. So guys, this is pretty much the activity. You have the square where you have to think of 2 ideas that, you know, good citizens follow. Just like I mentioned before and just like I mentioned previously, you can do this on your own. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Once the 5 minutes are done, guys, this is going to be it. So I'll see you in 5. Alrighty guys, so now that the 5 minutes are up, one of the things that I thought that are good is maintaining silence when, you know, it is late at night and your neighbors, for example, are sleeping or they're resting. You should always be considerate of them. So that's what I would think. And the other one is to always keep your stuff, if you have a dog maybe, or if you have a hallway where everybody has to pass through, you should always keep your stuff in your house, you know, not having in the middle of the hall. Why? Because it is, again, inconsiderate. It is disrespectful. Everybody has to go through it, and it's everybody's hallway, and you should not have it all to yourself. So that is one thing that I thought of, okay? All right, guys, so let's go with our video, our hygiene video. But before we go to our hygiene video, guys, I want you to know that you are greatly missed. I really, really do miss you, and that I hope that you and your family are, you know, with good health, and that you have all, you know, the blessings that you're having now, that you keep having them. I send you a big, huge virtual hug and a big virtual kiss. I hope that you continue to obey your parents. I hope that you still, you know, do everything that you've been doing so far. Thank you again for working so hard over the past couple of months. You've been great. Thank you guys, and congratulations. I know that I didn't say this before, but congratulations, because now you are almost second graders. So guys, I send you a big hug, a big thank you, and a big kiss. So I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Hi guys, so as we've been talking about for the past couple of days, we're going to continue talking about hygiene, the hygiene that we have to do at school. Alrighty, so we already know this, guys. We already know that we have to maintain social distancing. We're not going to be able to be beside each other. Why? Well, because, you know, we're trying to stay as much distance away from the person beside us. Why? Because we're not going to get, we don't want to get sick. We know that we're going to be going back to school, but we cannot do this, okay? Nos que me pica la nariz. Yeah. Alright, so we know that we're going to be going back to school, guys, but we're not going to be able to go back to the way we were. You know, remember? You used to be able to share food, or you used to be able to touch your hand or touch your friend's hand, like, oh, I don't know, for example, Paula, you have something right here. No, you can't touch somebody else's face. Guys, when we go back to school, we're going to have to use these. And yes, I know that they are different colors that you've seen them, but the way you put them on, you already know. So you're supposed to put them on like this, and you hold them from the inside and you pull them, okay? And it's supposed to cover your nose, and it's supposed to cover your mouth, okay? It's supposed to cover. You're not going to be touching this all the time. Mine is clean because mine is at home. I am just showing you this so you know. You can't be touching your face or going like this and then putting it back on and then going like this, touching your face. Try to avoid that, okay? So if you feel like this is going down, because se les está bajando, you pull it from here and you pull it back down. You do not go like this and put it on your face again, okay? And when you remove it, you don't remove it like this. You take it from under your thing. See, you're not touching it. You touch it in, you know, if yours is a washable, if yours is something that you can wash. For example, mine is a discard one. When it gets dirty, I throw it in the trash. Mine. Yours is not like that, okay? I also shown you guys that I'm going to have this, okay? I'm going to have this around. This is mine. This is mine from my house, but I'm going to be taking this, and this is a house. This is my house. So I'm going to be going around spraying it, okay? Just to make sure that the air is still pure. In some moments, I'm going to open the window and I'm going to let the bacteria come out. I'm going to spray this, and then we're going to do this. Every time we go out and every time we come in, I'm going to open the windows so the air will ventilate. I'm going to be spraying this also, so you know it can be a ventilated area. If you do not want to wear this, or you don't feel like this because it's itchy or because you're going to be touching it, it's okay, right? You can wear gloves. For example, for the ones, I know that some parents, this is a glove. You can put a glove on. I don't know, and you can just write with them. It's going to be very, very simple. You can write with them. And when you're finished, you can just throw it away. Again, when you're throwing this away, you don't go like this. This glove right here is clean. This is a clean glove. That's why I can touch it. But if I'm going to go out, if I'm going to be outside, maybe to Walmart. Let's pretend I'm going to Walmart. I'm not going to touch this, and I'm not going to be touching my face when this is dirty. No, I grab it from right here, from the inside, you see? And I pull. And I pull. And this goes in the trash. Alrighty, guys? This is a clean glove. This is a clean glove, guys. So I can turn it back and I can reuse it. But because mine is clean. When you go somewhere and if your mom and dad is telling you to not be close to somebody, to not be touching your face, try to do that, guys, because it's going to keep you healthy and safe. Again, like I mentioned to you before, we're not going to be able to share our food. It's not going to be like, hey, Miss Montse, you want a cookie? Or here, Miss Montse, I want a cookie. Here, it's a cookie. Sorry, guys. Not trying to be rude, but we're not going to be able to take anything. Why? Because I don't want to make your food, I guess you could say, dirty if I have dirty hands or if I forget to wash my hands. And I don't want you guys, to do the same. So we're all going to keep our stuff to ourselves, even if sometimes we have water. And for example, somebody asked me for water.
Can I have water?
Yes, no, this is incorrect. You cannot share your water. Sorry, Hera, I can't share my water with you. So he would have to understand. He would have to get a cup, or we would have to call his mom so he can get water. Alrighty, guys? You cannot drink because I'm putting my mouth on this, and you guys then are gonna put your mouth. And if I'm sick, for example, right now, if I was sick, then you would get sick because of me. Just like always, I'm going to have the spray, the disinfecting spray, and we're going to keep cleaning the tables. I'm going to keep spraying this around. We're going to wash our hands. We're going to have soap. I think I mentioned to this for you guys. I don't think it's going to be very different for you because you used to always see me, remember, with the baby wipes. I used to clean my iPad, and I used to clean my phone, and I used to clean my place because I don't like it to be dirty, and I always try to keep your stuff clean as well. This is one of the reasons why I always told you, keep your backpacks in the correct place, keep your waters, your food, all in one place, because we're going to try to avoid our waters being contaminated. I cannot leave my water like this. I'm gonna put it on the table and it's gonna be like this. This is not okay, guys. You always have to put the lid back on it. If you have your lunchbox, put your water, close it well. It doesn't leak. Put it in your water, in your backpack or in your lunch case. Alrighty, guys? We cannot have waters rolling all the time like we used to. Alright, this is something that we have to do. This is something that we have to take care of each other now. We cannot leave this, as well as food. When you finish eating, when we go back to school, there's not going to be any leftover. So for those guys, if you ate y no te lo terminaste a la hora del recreo de la comida, the food is going in the trash, guys. We're not going to keep food. Why? Because I'm going to be spraying this around, and this is not something you can eat. This is not for your mouth. Okay? So if I spray it, the food is going to go in the trash. Please, please, guys, if you only eat one doblada, one empanada, one picada, if you only eat one, only buy one. Don't buy two if you're gonna leave it. Don't buy it. Just buy the one that you're gonna eat. Okay? Because remember that we don't have space in our classroom. We don't have the space to put the food. You've seen our classroom. We don't have the space. So guys, you have to finish your food now. Okay? You're not gonna be able to give it to somebody else. Why am I telling this? I know that I've been telling you this for the past couple of days, that you're probably tired of hearing this, but this is something that we're going back. We're not going back to normality. We're not going to be able to hug each other. We're not going to be able to be close to each other, to share our food. things are changing. We're going to be wearing face masks all day. We're going to be wearing this all the time. We're only going to take it off when we eat, and we're going to put it back on after we finish. We're going to wash our hands. We are not going to brush our teeth. This time, because there were so many girls that were, boys and girls, that were going to the bathroom to brush their teeth, this time, guys, we're not doing that for a while until the coronavirus thing is going down. So we're not going to be able to brush our teeth. So guys, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to take some measurements. Things are going to be changing. We're going to be cleaning constantly where we're going to be, not because you're dirty, but just because we were trying to eliminate the germs. All right? So please, 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 guys, understand that this is something that we have to do. If you want to wear gloves to school, you can. If you want to wear this to school, you have to. If you want to wear the mask, you can do that as well. Alrighty? And you have to keep your distance. When we go to recess, we're not going to be able to be all close together. We're going to be separated from each other. And you might have to bring even a toy. You're going to bring a toy to play by yourself because, you know, being close right now is not something that we are going to be able to do. So guys, all these things are measurements to keep you happy, well, to keep you safe. More than anything, to keep you safe, to keep you from getting sick. All right, guys, so like last time, I'm going to show you how to wash your hands. Alrighty, so see you in a few. We're going to wash our hands, and guys, after that, you're going to be finished for the day. So I'll see you in a bit. All right, guys, so first of all, we know that we have to open the water and we get our water damp. This is not clean. We then have to get the soap, and we get plenty of soap, as you can see. And we do this first. We see all this soapiness? Okay, now you go like this, and you go like this. Remember that you're trying to get everything. You go in between your fingers. But this part is not clean, so you have to touch it as well. You go all around, all around, all around. And you make sure that you have soap all over the place. If you want, you can wash your nails. And when you're finished, then you rinse. Then you can rinse, guys. Make sure that you remove all of the soap from your hands. Okay. You remove all of the soap. And when you finish, that's it. And you just rinse your hands. And then you just get a towel and you get a towel and you dry. Okay? Alrighty, guys, so that is it. That is how you have white, clean hands.